Yay. Oh, yay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey y'all, and welcome back. So today I'm kind of bringing a late Thrifted Thursdays, but maybe a Transformation Tuesdays. Let me know which one you prefer better. This is a dress I designed from a tube dress, some curtains, and some rose petals. So if you want to see how I achieved this, keep on watching. So the materials I used were this curtain that I found at the thrift store. I think it was like $6, and I love the color. And clear, you can see I'm feeling myself right here. But yeah, I used that, and then of course, oh, sorry about the nips. So I used this tube dress I got off of Amazon. I'll link it down below, and some elastic, a measuring tape, some straight pins, and some faux rose petals, which I'll also link down below. I got these off of Amazon. Some pinking shears and scissors, a glue gun, and of course your sewing machine. Okay, so first things first, I put on the dress inside out, and I just marked where I wanted the end of the dress to stop and then the train or mermaid tail to continue. Sorry about the ashy knees, y'all. It was like early in the morning and I was looking raggedy, so I later put on some shea butter. Anyway, so once I was happy with the length, I just secured everything with some straight pins and took it to my sewing machine. So you want to make sure that it's on a zigzag stitch, and then once you place it on your sewing machine, you're going to want to pull gently both ends so that it allows the fabric itself to stretch, since it is a stretchy tube top. So just to make sure that it's not super tight and your legs aren't restricted. So as you can see, I have my zigzag stitch and my fabric is still very stretchy. So next we're going to move on to the shoulder piece. You want to take your tape measure and just wrap it around your arms and measure out the length of your arms, and I got 40 inches for mine. And then I just measured how long I wanted the shoulder piece to lay from where my shoulders start. So that was about 7 inches. That's 6 inches with 1 inch seam allowance. So then I opened up the fabric and then I cut to where it was 40 inches, and then I folded it in half, or folded it down. And then just make sure with your tape measure that you get the desired width, which was your 7 inches, all the way across. And then you just cut, and you're going to just pin everything down and sew it up, and you will have your shoulder piece. Now later on I'm going to show you all what I did to make sure that I was able to move my arms, because I kind of messed up on this part like at least 7 times. And so this is not the first shoulder piece thing that you're seeing right now. So after I just sewed that up, I folded it in half, and then I made sure that the center of the shoulder piece was matching the center of the dress. So this is the front center of the dress. And then I just pinned everything up just to the front piece only, or the front side only. So once I have everything pinned up, as you'll see in just a bit, I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and just do a zigzag stitch across, because since my tube top is stretchy, I want to make sure the fabric stretches with it. So as you'll see, I'm taking it now to my sewing machine, putting it on the zigzag stitch, and I'm gently pulling the tube top, which is the stretchy piece, and it's underneath, gently pulling it on both sides. That way the shoulder piece, which is not stretchy, stretches along with the tube top, and therefore nothing is constricting or, you know, too tight. And y'all, take your time when you're doing this. This can be kind of tricky at first. I will say when I first started doing something like this, I used to break needle after needle because I was going way too fast and pulling way too hard and whatnot. So take your time, pull gently, move slowly, and you'll be fine. So this is what it looks like, and that's the back, and this is the front. So this is what the front looks like with my 40-inch piece laid across and just sewn to the front center of the dress. Now, so in order to move my arms, I had to create a stretchy strip in the back. So this is just what the back of the dress would look like once I connected kind of an elastic piece to it. So I took a 12-inch strip and I folded it in half, and I just cut along a diagonal, thus creating kind of a trapezoid shape. And then once I had my shape, I just took some elastic and I just measured it along the length of both the top and the bottom of the trapezoid. So this is what it will look like once it has the elastic. And now again, you're going to be using your zigzag stitch and just gently tugging on the elastic and just gently and slowly moving so that you have your stretchy piece. So that's what it will look like. And now I'm going to, this is just a diagram I showed you because it kind of can be a little confusing. You want to make sure that the shoulder piece is up and not yet folded down, and the wrong sides are out, including the elastic. So everything, the wrong sides must be out, the elastic must be facing out, and the right sides are touching. So if that makes sense, I hope so. But anyway, so that's what it's going to eventually look like. So you have a clean edge when you flip it downwards. So this will allow your arms to move. Now I'm going to go ahead and just sew up everything. So I'm taking one side of my stretchy piece and one side of my shoulder piece, making sure again the right sides are touching. And then this is what it will look like. So you can see exactly what I meant by that. And now I can move my arms up and down and around. So I'm inserting this clip right here to show you that I top stitch a portion of the back of the shoulder piece to the back of the dress so that the shoulder piece doesn't hang down and it's covering your back. So just to show you that, that's what I did in the very end. All right, now we're gonna move to the tail part. Now I'm just measuring from the bottom of my dress to where I would like my tail / train to end. And I believe that was about 21 inches. Now I'm taking some wrapping paper and I'm using that as my pattern paper because I don't really own pattern paper. I feel like pattern paper is just wrapping paper essentially. So I just measured down about 20 inches with 1/2 or half an inch seam allowance. So really it was 20.5 inches. And then I just took my measuring tape and I just measured 20.5 inches you know, from the center to the left to the right. So you can see that I'm trying to create this triangle shape. So this is kind of like what they do with circle skirts. But yeah, so just use that and make sure you measure the lengths 20.5 or however long, starting from the left, center to the right. And then I just trace that out. And then I just trace the bottom. And then there I have it. I have my pattern piece. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that out real quick. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pin that to my fabric. So I'm going to triple up, or rather quadruple up my fabric. So I fold it once and then I fold it again so that I have 4 layers. So now I'm going to stick on my pattern piece and I'm just going to pin that to the fabric, and I'm just counting out 4 layers again. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way you're doubled up on the front and the back side, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to simply cut around. I actually added another 5 or 0.5 inches, so it ended up being about 21 inches anyway. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just sew up the sides. And once I finish that, I'm gonna go ahead and hem the rounded edge. Before I do that, I actually like to cut little notches or triangles into the edge just because it helps me to hem it evenly and neatly. Whenever I don't do this, I find that the fabric runs and the hem just looks like super crusty and super uneven. So this is just a little tip if you want to have more of a nice clean edge. Just to kind of put tiny little notches in, it just makes life so much easier, I assure you. So once I do that, I go ahead and just pin everything down, and then I'm going to just take that to my sewing machine and just do a straight stitch all around. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach my tube dress to the tail portion. I'm going to make sure that the dress is facing right sides out and that my tail is inside out, or wrong sides out, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just go ahead and carefully funnel my dress through the tail. So you can see that the tail is inside out and the dress is just the way you would normally wear it. And then I'm making sure that the bottom of the dress meets the top of the tail. And then I'm just going to pin everything in place. This will create like a nice clean edge so that when you flip it, the tail downwards, it's going to create obviously the look that you're going for with a clean edge. And also I'll mention y'all, after I sewed this, I also realized that I could not move. So I had to go ahead and just kind of create a back slit. One thing you can do if you don't want to create like a back slit, you can attach elastic to your tail and then sew that onto the bottom of your dress. But if you do like this part, this is what I did. So I just simply cut a straight line, or just drew out a straight line, and then I cut it with my pinking shears all the way up, and I kind of cut it into the two dress as well, and then I just simply hem the edges using some straight pins. And if you all are wondering why I use pinking shears, it's because it creates kind of the zigzagged edge, which gives it a nice little finish, especially with fabrics that are more susceptible to fraying. So that's why I kind of prefer them over regular scissors, just because it helps to kind of finish the edges without serging it. So I go ahead and just simply sew that up. And then now I'm going to move on to decorating my shoulder piece. Sorry about the background noise, y'all. They're mowing outside. But anyway, this was a very simple process. However, it was very tedious and time consuming. So I recommend at least allotting yourself a couple hours for this part. But it's just simply gluing a little dab of glue to your rose petals, and then just gluing them one over top of each other and whatnot, and making sure that you have like a plastic bag. I would not use paper because I used paper and it kind of stuck to the dress a little bit, so that was annoying. But yeah, using like a plastic bag underneath so as to protect it from sticking to the dress. So this next part was kind of a last minute idea, but I love how it turned out. I added these little hip pieces. I safety pinned them on just to see if I'd like them. And then once I decided this was definitely a yes, I went ahead and marked with chalk along the seam of the dress where I wanted them to kind of come out from. And this just helped so that when I took these pieces off, I knew exactly where they would be lying and whatnot. So I just took off the safety pin and I took my seam ripper. And you can use scissors, but just be very, very careful. If you don't have a seam ripper, just be very careful when you're doing this. But you want to just go along the side seams of the dress and open it up, and just a little tiny hole and whatnot. Mine was a little tricky because I did have lining, so you also have to make sure you cut through the lining of the dress. So I turned the dress inside out and then just made sure to find the hole. And then with the safety pin still attached to the hip piece, I simply funneled that through the dress and then pulled that right through the hole. And then once I did that, I took off my safety pin and secured everything in place using a straight pin. And then just for safety, I just turned everything back around just to make sure it was where I wanted it to be and looked how I wanted it to look. So it's just good to kind of flip it inside out and outsides in, whatnot, just to kind of make sure before you sew that up that you like how it lays. And then I just simply sew it all closed, and then I just cut off the excess using my pinking shears. And then there you go. You have your evening gown or ball gown or even prom dress. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this. I had so much fun making this. This was definitely a process, but I loved it. Let me know down below if you want to see more of these thrifted transformations, or Transformation Tuesday, Thrifted Thursday. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.